Thanks for staying with us. Welcome to Newsroom series on Channels Television. I'm Joker Rogers. Here are the news and reports we're tracking for you this hour on the program. And we're in the North Central today. 9 people abducted by suspected terrorists have been rescued, while 3 bandits were killed during a coordinated operation in Ekiti local government area of Kwara State. The rescue mission involved joint security forces, which included the Kwara Forest Guards, the Department of State Services, local hunters and vigilantes, following intelligence that the victims were being moved through the bush towards neighboring Niger State. The survivors have recounted their ordeal, while security operatives are calling for better equipment to sustain the offensive. Authorities say joint patrols and bush combing operations will continue as efforts intensify to secure border communities and protect residents from further attacks. Staying with security matters, the Niger State Governor Umaru Bago has reaffirmed his administration's commitment to strengthening security by commissioning 12 operational vehicles for the Nigeria Police Force and inaugurating the Niger State Police Command's Violent Crime Response Unit. The governor says the initiative is aimed at improving rapid response to violent crimes and enhancing public safety.
We have seen almost 218 special forces that have been trained by the Nigerian Police Command MENA, and to boost security and confidence in the citizenry, we've also added some vehicles to them, which has been, a continuous thing, and we're not going to relent. The essence is to give capacity and give confidence, even the people are both men and officers on duty, and to make life very easy for them. So these vehicles we've added to the Nigerian Police Command MENA is an additional one, and we're hoping to give them more in the nearest future.
Families displaced by flooding in Benue State are to be resettled in over 20 resettlement housing units in Buruku local government area. The houses were handed to the beneficiaries by the National Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission. The housing project was inaugurated to restore hope, dignity, and a new beginning for the affected families.
Residents of Mbagan community in Buruku local government area of Benue State turn out for good following effects of flooding that usually affects their homes, as they have something to celebrate this time. Officials from the National Hydroelectric Power Producing Areas Development Commission arrived to hand over 20 housing units built to support those affected by flooding. The project consists of 63 housing units approved across affected local government areas in Benue State, with the first 20 completed and ready to be occupied. The management of the commission explains that the federal government is committed to improving the lives of communities affected by hydroelectric power generation.
The resettlement housing scheme, who we commissioned today, is a testament to our conviction that development is meaningful only when it restores hope.
On behalf of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, I wish to reaffirm the federal government's commitment to restoring hope and dignity to vulnerable communities. These housing units are more than physical structures. They represent safety, renewed livelihoods, and a promise that no Nigerian community affected by the natural disasters will be forgotten.
For the Benue State government and the community leader, the project is commendable.
The Benue State government welcomes this development and assures Orthopedic of its full cooperation in facilitating the inspection, formal handover, and occupation of the completed housing units to the intended beneficiaries.
This project is not merely an investment in infrastructure. It is an investment in human dignity, social welfare, and community resilience.
The residents are promising to protect and maintain the housing units while appealing to the Commission to construct a perimeter fence around the health facility to improve security around them.
Meanwhile, the Benue state government is seeking private investment to revive the Ikyogen cattle ranch in Ikwe Wildlife Park as part of efforts to unlock the state's tourism and agribusiness potential. Driven by the Benue State Investment and Property Company, BIPC, the initiative is expected to restore the facilities, stimulate economic activities, and create employment opportunities.
Efforts to reposition two of Benue State's major tourism and agricultural assets are gathering momentum. The Benue Investment and Property Company, BIPC, has begun discussion with Texas-based Vallejo Services on the proposed revival of the Ikyogen Cattle Ranch in Kwande local government area and the Ikwe Wildlife Park in Gwe East. The initiative forms part of the High-Sentale administration's plan to attract investment and restore the facilities through a public-private partnership arrangement. A joint inspection of both sites is led by the Group Managing Director of BIPC, Raymond Asemakaha.
For us, it's just to reawakening those dormant balance sheet that we have. And that's why we came in with the investors to come and, see. And from the discussion we have, is something that he will start immediately. And for us, we are grateful because we know that if we are able to awakening the dormant assets that we have, or balance sheet rather, the state will have a lot of things. If you are producing milk in this environment, you know what we do to the states. And, of course, the ranch and others.
The president of Vallejo Services says the company is ready to invest in the ranch and wildlife park, describing both facilities as strategic assets with strong commercial and tourism potential.
This is so much resources and stuff that y'all have here that can be utilized to make everything much better for Benue State, for the new generations to come, to be able to make everything better for your community, for all the villages, and for everyone here. So, I feel there is a great potential to be able to do something great for y'all.
The chairman of the BIPC governing board, Elizabeth Shuluwa, reaffirms the company's commitment to creating an enabling environment for sustainable investment that will ensure the successful revival of the facilities.
Here, you can see in the village here, look at the people looking at us. If development comes back to here, the young people will be gainfully employed. The young ladies will also be employed, and then there will be development in the place. And of course, when there's development and there's economy, there's money running into people's hands. Some of those negative vices that are, around all over the world, Nigeria inclusive, now are eliminated.
Beyond restoring the ranch and wildlife park, the proposed partnership is expected to boost dairy production, strengthen Benue's agricultural value chain, attract private capital, and position the state as a leading destination for agribusiness and ecotourism investments.
Elsewhere, as traffic congestion and deteriorating roads continue to challenge transportation across Nigeria, renewed attention is turning to the nation's vast inland waterways as a viable alternative. This came to light at the 44th inaugural lecture of the Federal University, Lokoja, where the guest lecturer, a professor of transport history, Anthony Ali, called for a fresh examination of how politics has influenced the development of Nigeria's waterways. Professor Ali insists that unlocking their potential is critical to building a more efficient and sustainable transport system.
The 44th inaugural lecture of the Federal University, Lokoja, attracts academics, students, stakeholders within various segments of the transport sector, including management and staff of the National Inland Waterways Authority and members of the National Union of Road Transport Workers. The lecture, which focuses on water transportation, begins with remarks from the Vice-Chancellor of the University, Professor Bengai Bileye, who reminds the audience that transportation remains the engine of economic growth and social development because it connects communities and facilitates trade.
It is less a description than a verdict, and rivers, like the rest of us, are graded on it without ever being consulted. What today's lecture proposes, I think, is that the lower Niger has spent over a century being declared navigable by people standing safely on the bank.
Delivering the lecture titled Politics of Transportation, Dredging and Navigability of the Lower River Niger, 1901 to 2023, a professor of transport history, Anthony Ali, goes back a century in history and the impact of the River Niger on trade, communities, and the national development.
In Nigeria, we have just 4, and I'm wondering, 4 river ports in Nigeria: Baro, Jamata, Oguta, and Onitsha. Now, what of Lokoja? Please, why is Jamata important? I keep asking. Now, the Baro port has been completed, but it is situational. That means abandoned. That is part of the politics. Someone in power prompted the building of Baro port. Yes, because ship cannot get to Baro port. Yes, it's been completed. Hundreds of billions were sunk there, and it's a waste.
He then narrows the lecture to how government policies continue to limit the potential of the River Niger.
Let us be wise. The developed countries developed their transport system, and so they became developed. With transportation, there will be no unemployment will be minimized. Markets will be opened. Cities become more urbanized. And in conclusion, this inaugural lecture concludes as follows. An efficient transportation system is vital to the growth of Nigeria's economy. Government must intervene to solve the conflict in the transportation sector. There is so much conflict.
The 44th inaugural lecture is part of Federal University Lokoja's effort to showcase how its research connects history, policy, and national development.
Plateau State Governor Kidnap has unveiled an ambitious plan to modernize the state's transport system with smart technology designed to improve public safety, enhance commuter services, and support the fight against crime. The initiative includes the deployment of smart tricycles fitted with surveillance cameras and communication devices, as the governor charges transport operators to take a more active role in combating kidnapping, human trafficking, and other criminal activities. Our correspondent, Percy Debang, reports.
Leaders of transport unions across Plateau State gather at the government house for a strategic engagement with Governor Kidnap. Addressing transport owners, members of the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, and other stakeholders in the transport sector, the governor described transport operators as critical partners in the state's security architecture, urging them to remain alert, report suspicious movements, and help curb crimes such as kidnapping and the trafficking of young girls.
I want you to know that the security of lives and property depends on you largely in the transport sector. I want to pray and to plead with you to continue to make sure that you do not allow yourself to be used as an agent that will lead to somebody's death or destruction.
Members of the transport community reiterate their commitment to supporting government efforts to strengthen security, improve transport services, and grow the state's economy.
His Excellency knows about your plight. Already there is a plan for His Excellency to order electric cars and electric tricycle and cars. And very soon, the sector will be empowered.
Other union leaders describe transportation reforms in Plateau State as a positive step towards a safer, more organized and modern transport system.
We endorse you, and we said nothing will deter us from getting you back to the office as our governor, and this is going to do. We are saying with these numerous members here, you don't have any cause to worry, because by the way of it, by and large, your campaign is secured.
In addition to the reforms, the governor promises to simplify vehicle registration, consider fertilizer support for transport operators who are also farmers, and appoint more special assistants from the transport sector to deepen collaboration between government and industry stakeholders. Percy Dabang, Channels Television News.
When we come back, we'll take a look at farming development all the way in Kwara State. That's in a moment. Please stay with us. Welcome back. Access to specialist orthopedic care is expanding in Nigeria's north-central region, with the National Orthopedic Hospital in Jos recording significant milestones less than a year after commencing clinical services. The hospital says it has treated more than 8,000 patients and successfully performed 180 surgeries, including complex orthopedic procedures, underscoring the growing public confidence in its capacity to deliver specialized healthcare.
They brought the documents for me to see, and indeed it was 8,502 patients. We commenced admission, like we told you, in October. Between October 20th and now, we've had 259 admissions and done 180 operations, of which 154 of them were major procedures, including hip replacement, knee replacement, major reconstruction, and major fractures. And we're proud of this. And then we have 35 other procedures, not as major.
And now to agriculture. About 700 women farmers in Kwara State have been drafted into the National Agricultural Land Development Authority's Green Hope project, a capacity building program which aims to boost food production and strengthen food security in the country. The beneficiaries, drawn from horticulture clusters across the state's 3 senatorial districts, are being trained in modern horticultural production.
700 women who are farmers in Kwara State are taking part in a commercial horticulture training program aimed at improving food production and creating sustainable livelihoods. The initiative forms part of the federal government's plan to train 5,000 women across the country, with beneficiaries drawn from every federal constituency. Addressing participants, Chief Executive Officer of NALDA, Olusegun Adebayo, says the program is being implemented in 38 locations nationwide to expand commercial farming and strengthen national food security.
As the National Agricultural Land Development Authority, NALDA, our statutory mandate is to develop agricultural land resources, expand access to productive farmland, promote modern agricultural practices, and create opportunities that improve the livelihoods of Nigerians through sustainable agricultural development. The Green Hope project, this project, is one of our flagship interventions through which we are translating this mandate into tangible benefits for communities across the country.
The Executive Director of the Agricultural and Rural Management Training Institute, Olufemi Oladuni, says the partnership is designed to equip participants with practical skills that will enable them transition into commercial farming.
Our aim is to make Nigeria food sovereign at the end of the day. And you can only do this through the unit of the family, in which the woman is number one, to make sure the family are well taken care of in terms of food, in terms of good health, in terms of employment opportunities for their children in future. So these are some of the things that we have in plan.
The chairman of the United Farmers Association, Oke Onigbin Branch, Adeni Ganiyu, commends the initiative and calls for its expansion to enable more farmers benefit from government support.
I want to appreciate the federal government for bringing up this program. It's a way to fight food insecurity, and I'm very convinced that if this program is well managed, it's going to have a very serious and meaningful impact on the agenda of the federal government.
Organizers say the training has exposed participants to improved tomato cultivation techniques and other modern farming practices expected to increase productivity, improve incomes, and contribute to the nation's food security goals.
As political activities gradually build up ahead of the 2027 general elections, stakeholders of the All Progressives Congress in Kwara local government area of Niger State are calling for unity and reconciliation among party members. They say internal cohesion remains critical to the party's electoral success. The APC party faithful, political appointees and community leaders made the call during an event organized by the Political Appointees Forum of Kwara local government area as part of efforts to reconcile aggrieved members, promote dialogue and strengthen the APC ahead of next year's elections.
The main aim is to bring all the contestants, the aspirants, all those that aspired to political offices that lost out, to bring them together along with their supporters and other party members to dialogue as a means of dousing whatever tension, to apologize to some of them, to those that lost out, and to appeal to them to come together as one to face the elections proper sometime next year.
We have a political forum where every member that has been opportune to hold a political position, either through elective means or by appointment, belongs to this forum. Now, we have deemed it fit to ensure that we have come together to discuss issues that will help unite us come 2027.
Finally, more than 10,000 students from tertiary institutions across Nasarawa State have declared support for the political vision of Senator Ahmed Wadada following the inauguration of the Wadada Student Support Group in Lafia, the state capital. The group is aimed at mobilizing students, promoting responsible leadership, encouraging civic engagement, and strengthening youth participation in the democratic process. Inauguration drew student leaders, youth groups, government officials, traditional rulers, and other political stakeholders from across Nasarawa State.
As students, we recognize that the future of our dear state and nation lies in active participation, loyalty, and purposeful engagement in democratic process. Swasong was birthed out of conviction, a conviction that Senator Ahmed Wadada Aliyu represents. The vision, capacity, and integrity needed to take Nasarawa State to greater height in 2027.
That's Newsroom series. Thank you for watching. I'm Joker Rogers.